The race for White House is heating up. The tenure of Joe Biden is at its termination. Who will hold the Supreme Chair of White House is hot question, which is pumping in the minds of all. Donald Trump or Biden once more? These are certain queries which are discussed thoroughly in this episode. Welcome back to GeoKit, your daily guide for geopolitical affairs. USA, the supreme power in the world, is going to hold general elections for 2024. The race is in full swing. Every one of us is eagerly waiting for the new twist in the pragmatic wheel of politics. This general election seems to bring mysterious consequences, which will be beyond the understanding of a lame man. This video is going to be very informative and interesting, so don't miss out anything and watch till the end. Also, if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon for notification. Let's get into today's topic. Major parties for polls. According to survey conducted by Morning Consult, the two giant parties, Democratic and Republicans, have suppressed other minor parties. Seemingly, the polls are merely between these two parties. Donald Trump, the former U.S. president, is representing Republicans, while his opponent, also is the current president, Joe Biden, represents Democratic Party. It is a game of power. Undoubtedly, power has enslaved man at every phase. Washington has always brought modern ways of living. The democratic rule over the world is the very concept of Americans. Hence, it would be no harm in saying USA is the birthplace of democracy. Donald Trump's position. As the 2024 elections are on head, candidates of various parties are engaged in campaigning. Likewise, Donald Trump won South Carolina primary with overwhelming support, showcasing his appeal to voters who see him as capable of winning in November and keeping the country safe. Former President Donald Trump claimed Friday that his 4 criminal indictments have boosted his support among Black Americans because they see him as a victim of discrimination, comparing his legacy party to the historic legacy of anti-Black prejudice in the U.S. legal system. Trump argues he is the victim of political persecution, even though there is no evidence President Joe Biden or White House officials influenced the filing of 91 felony charges against him. Earlier in the week, Trump compared himself to Alexei Navalny, Russian President Vladimir Putin's top domestic rival, who died in a remote Arctic prison after being jailed by the Kremlin leader. Trump, shaking the bars of racism. "I got indicted for nothing, for something that is nothing," Trump told a black tie event for Black conservatives in South Carolina ahead of Saturday's Republican primary. And a lot of people said that's why the Black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against, and they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against. It's been pretty amazing, but possibly maybe there's something there. Trump has focused his third campaign for the White House on his criticisms of Biden and his claims of being targeted by what he describes as a deep state. He continues to face legal challenges related to his efforts surrounding the 2020 election and allegations of handling classified documents at his Florida estate. He is the dominant Republican frontrunner, as many GOP voters echo his beliefs, and is favored to soundly beat former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in her home state. "The lights are so bright in my eyes, I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. That's how far I've come," Trump said to laughter from the audience. He also said that he knew many Black people because his properties were built by Black construction workers. In telling a story about how he renegotiated the cost of remodeling Air Force One, Trump criticized his predecessor, former President Barack Obama, the first Black person to be elected to the White House. Joe Biden's position. On the other hand, President Biden has cast himself as a protector of democracy and a stabilizing force after the upheaval of the Trump administration. He is expected to campaign on his bipartisan accomplishments, like a major infrastructure bill and his support for Democratic priorities, like abortion rights that Republicans staunchly oppose. He is running for re-election as the oldest person ever to hold the presidency, a subject of concern among many Democrats, though the party has publicly set aside those worries and rallied around him. Democrats held their first presidential primary in South Carolina on Saturday. U.S. President Joe Biden is looking for an easy victory in the South Carolina's primary that officially kicked off the party's presidential nomination process. According to the Associated Press, Biden is overwhelmingly favored against Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips and self-help author Marianne Williamson. Yet the Democratic National Committee officially replaced Iowa with South Carolina in its presidential primary's leadoff spot following a long and sometimes contentious process. Biden pushed for South Carolina to go first, followed 3 days later by Nevada. The new calendar also moves the Democratic primary of Michigan, a large and diverse swing state, to Feb 27, before the expansive field of states voting on March 5, known as Super Tuesday. South Carolina, you are the first primary in the nation, and President Biden and I are counting on you. Vice President Kamala Harris was quoted by the Associated Press as saying on Friday, the President and First Lady Jill Biden also recently campaigned in the state. Both the candidates are hopeful for their sublime victory in November general elections. However, the day of polls will reveal all the hidden consequences of their political work. USA is the country which has many rivals around its surroundings. Some of the countries see Trump as fanatic, while others eulogize him. Be it Trump or Biden, both have shown their capabilities in their tenure. Rest the public will decide who is to be elected. What are your thoughts on this race of superpower? Please drop your queries in comment section. GeoKit loves to hear from you. With that said, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Also, please share this video to as many people as possible. Thanks for watching.